What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 26 facts about Norwegians. So today, I want to continue looking at this really interesting list about what Norwegians are really like. And so far, I've learned that Norwegians are very, very different from Americans. And Norwegian culture is very different from American culture. So today, I'm really excited to continue learning about some more things about Norwegians. So let's take a look here, starting with Norwegian people love the sun. Isn't that like just humans? don't don't humans just enjoy the sun? Do Norwegians love the sun more than normal? I don't know. It says, I guess this stands for most people around the world. Yeah. But Norwegians take it to another level? You haven't seen the potential of a park or a grill until you have seen Bergen on that rare sunny day? Really? I mean, they got a picture here of like the winter time, and I guess in Norway, you guys have a pretty intense winter. I've seen some YouTube videos and pictures about the snow in the winter in Norway. It's way more extreme than here in America. So I guess Norwegians just really appreciate the warmth and the sun more than people, like a lot of people around the world, I guess. Norwegians flock to the parks where the sun when the sun is out. And when the sun isn't out, they flock to Siden, or the south, because the more south you go, the warmer it is. Chartered packaged trips to Spain, Greece, and Turkey are the most common, and most Norwegians have taken one of these trips. Really? Spain, Greece, and Turkey. I don't know much about any of those countries. I guess that's where like Norwegians go on vacation. That's so cool that you get to go on vacation to other countries so easily, being in Europe and here in America, like Americans, we never go to other countries. Like it's so rare for Americans to leave the United States. So, Norwegians, if you're cold, if you're unhappy, if it's not sunny out, you just take a trip to Turkey. So I think this is saying because it's so cold and the sun isn't always out in Norway, you guys really, really appreciate the sun. That's why you love it more than others. Okay, that makes sense. This says Norway is family-oriented society. Very family-oriented. Well, that's very good. Every culture should hope to be very family-oriented, right? Every day I worked at the cafe in Norway, I cursed children. Oh my God. The food throwing, the screaming monsters made my days long and hellish. Why did mothers come here with their kids? I often ask myself. Oh, right, because mothers actually get time off to take care of their children in this country. Oh, okay. The person who wrote this article is somebody who lived in Norway for a couple of years, and these are some of the things they noticed. And I know whoever wrote this article, they've lived in America, and I think the UK, and Norway. And in America, mothers only get like 3 months off from work when they're having a baby. It's not very long at all. So you don't really see a ton of mothers being able to take their children older than 3 months out to places. So they're actually saying while they were working in Norway, they noticed how family oriented it was because you can actually spend time with your family in the sense that in Norway, how much time off do you get as a mother? Like a year, I think a year or something crazy like that. Um, and I've heard in Norway that the work-life balance is a lot better. Norway really prioritizes having a life, not just working until you're dead. So Norwegians are conditioned to put families and children first. Wow. Yeah, here in America, you're supposed to do that, but it's so difficult in American culture to put family first. You're really forced to put your job, your career first. Unfortunately, that is the way it is in America. So this is a big difference, and I have to say, I think most Americans would love for us to be more like Norway in this topic with work and maternity leave and family time. Most Americans would want to be more like Norway for sure. It doesn't just stand with the person's direct family. It's the way that Norwegians they think this way about others too. Oh my God, what is this picture? What is this picture? Oh my God. Um, Children frustrated me at the cafe, but not a single Norwegian seemed bothered by it. The Norwegian society realizes that children are children and they need a future. They are the future. Wow. Yeah, in America, people really do not have a lot of patience for children. If children are playing or being loud or just being children, a lot of Americans get very, very annoyed very easily. Um, Children are not nearly as cherished as they should be, I think. Yeah. I really like this is a great thing about Norwegian culture. This is great. Wow. Mothers and fathers both get a lot of time off to attend their children, particularly after childbirth. Wow. The father, too? Wow. Here in the United States, I mean, the father is not guaranteed any time off. Even when the child is born, you could probably, you can use some of your vacation time to, get a week or two off for a baby. I think some jobs would accommodate that, but the mother barely gets 3 months. The father gets nothing, basically. In Norway, you even get a stipend from the government to help them get set up for a new family member. Oh my God. So Norway gives time off for mother and father. After childbirth, for a long time, you actually get to be with your child, and you get money from the government to help support you. Oh my God. I'm just digesting that for a second. Oh my God. Why is America like this? It's so cringy. We can see how other countries like Norway are doing these things, and yet we just choose to ignore it. I don't think America will ever really change, even though a lot of Americans are very unhappy with our system. The way society views the importance of family and children is remarkable. On the other hand, I don't think the same care and concern is given to the elderly. Ooh, interesting. Norway gives a lot of importance to family and children. In America, you're supposed to just figure that out somehow. Well, your job and the corporations and the government does nothing to help you, like, be a human with your family. And I think Americans, I think we're just used to it. I think we've just gotten used to it. Like, okay, this is the way it is. But in Norway, you guys are doing it. You're doing this the right way. It sounds way better. Are Norwegians really happy? Norway has a suicide rate, particularly in the winter. Oh my God. When it gets darker out, the physical darkness and cold has a effect on you mentally, I guess. So are Norwegians happy? Are they not happy? Well, doesn't Norway score very high in those happiness rankings? To be honest, I always found the happiness index to be a little sensationalized. I think it should be called the stress index. If a Norwegian loses their job, they can have comfort in knowing that these things happen and they have paid into a great system that will help them out until they get back on their feet. What? If you lose your job in Norway, the government will help you? So you guys pay. Okay, this is amazing. Okay, you pay into a system in Norway, like taxes or something, where if you lose your job or you have a child, the government pays you? A lot of Americans would like, it's so stupid. I think a lot of Americans would think this is like bad. Or a lot of Americans just say, socialism, socialist, boo. Like, what? Isn't this the point of having a government? Like, so that it can help take care of you a bit? Wow. Norway has a lot of really smart social services in place. I can see that now. Now, in America, if you're very, very poor, you can get government assistance. You can get welfare. You can get child support. There are some American government services. I have been fortunate enough in my life that I haven't had to use those, but if you lose your job, like if you just lose your job in America, you are screwed. Nothing's going to help you with that. Wow. In Norway, you receive a fair amount of holidays annually, and you're encouraged to take them all off. You're encouraged to take off work. Unlike us Americans who refuse to take them all. Yeah, in America, if you want to, like, go up and become more successful at your company, you have to show how dedicated you are. They almost make you feel bad for taking time off. In America, companies never encourage you to take time off. That's crazy. I rarely met Norwegians who were as stressed as my American friends. So it's not the article is basically saying Norway it ranks high in happiness, but really Norway does a lot of great things to lower your stress, which sounds amazing. Americans are very, very stressed out. Wow. In Norway, gender equality is high. Ah, good. It's not perfect. Norway is definitely one of the better places to live for gender equality. I think America does a pretty good job at this. I am a man, so I only have like the male experience, I guess, but from my point of view, it feels like America has gotten really far in equality for men and women. Men and women split roles in the home, yeah, and women are often in high jobs in society and government and corporations, yeah. We have a lot of women in our government, but there's not a lot of women in companies, like female CEOs and companies and boards. maybe that's one of the criticisms of America. While I think gender equality in Norway is good, it naturally still has strides to make. Norwegian people are vocal and opinionated when it comes to these issues. And they're actively fighting for equality. That's great. Great. Norwegian fashion, the Norwegian fashion, okay. The fashion is minimalistic, yet hip. Okay. I didn't know this was going to talk about like what's cool, the clothing and the fashion. Okay. Norwegians are conformed. So you guys like to dress alike. Like there's a certain way to dress. Every culture has that, like a certain expected way to dress and what's fashionable. That's normal. The fashion in Norway is so cool. It's minimalistic, it's not overly trendy. Norwegian women look effortlessly cool, and it was hard not to adopt some of that into your own style. I grew to love Norwegian and Scandinavian designers. What does Norwegian fashion even look like? I don't know. What, minimalistic? Like a t-shirt and shorts? I don't know. What does that mean? Norwegian people actually made my years in Norway very pleasant and enjoyable. Norwegian personality traits are easy to understand and make the country wonderful. Wonderful place to visit, wonderful place to live. That's really cool. This was by Megan Starr, who wrote this article. An American. That's awesome. This was so much fun to read about, and I learned so much stuff. Obviously, if you actually live in Norway, like Megan did, there's so much specific, unique things you get to see and learn. So it was really cool hearing from an American who has lived in Norway, because that's very rare. It's very rare to actually get to hear an American talk about living in Norway. So this was something I could really relate to, her observations, and I learned a lot about Norwegians and how different you are from Americans. And honestly, if I'm being honest, a lot of the stuff Norwegians are doing sounds better or smarter, or you guys just have a better approach with a lot of stuff going on in your life and work and government and your family life. And America could learn a lot from Norway. That is for sure. We could be a lot less stressed if we adopted some of these mindsets. And I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I'm glad as an individual that I know about these things now. So that's great. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these facts about Norwegians. If you thought this was all accurate or true or just, that'd be really cool to hear about from Norwegians out there, what you think about these observations about you. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian culture and seeing Norwegian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.